Talking with some of our guests from the Clean Energy Show, which you can see on KGMB tonight at 6:30. We welcome to the program Sharon Moriwaki from the Hawaii Clean Energy Forum and MariaTome from the State Energy Office. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
We'll try and not annoy you here this morning.
Okay.
Well, clean energy is such an important issue. One area of big focus is transportation and the roads. What's the state looking at doing?
Yes. Well, as you know, transportation energy is a huge user of petroleum. About 2/3 of our petroleum goes for transportation. About 2/3 of that is jet fuel. And so there's not much we can do here locally for the jet fuel piece, except, you know, we're working on production of jet fuel. We're working with the bioenergy side of things and agriculture and Department of Defense. And so it's an international effort there. But locally, if we can diversify our transportation energy sources, also if we can design our roads and our towns to reduce the need for transportation as well as reducing congestion, that can all help. I guess on the vehicle side, we have a lot of good information coming out in this evening's show. And for example, electric vehicles, there are incentives, both federal tax credits and a rebate for purchasers of electric vehicles. And so we have the attention of the auto manufacturers as well as the folks who are looking at how does that interact with Hawaii's electrical grid. So Hawaii is actually getting attention for our innovation as well as the energy efficiency aspect and the alternate fuels aspect of our transportation transformation.
The state is doing more, I think, doing outreach and using a lot of federal dollars to help incentivize with the rebates, and also looking at biofuels as well as another area. I think the three areas we were looking at in ground transportation, because that's something we can do something about, is the vehicles, as Maria mentioned, and the alternative fuels, biofuels, and modes of transportation. We can think differently. Trip planning, not, you know, go one trip, take your kids, come home, go to the store, you know, that kind of thing, combining trips, as well as public transportation. The study that the forum did, the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, some years back, found that 50%, over 50% of the people said, I will not catch the bus no matter what. And we have to change some of those attitudes, because that is a way of saving on our use of oil, as well as I guess looking at the bus itself. And you'll hear tonight they're looking at biodiesel, looking at other kinds of alternative fuels.
And that's shifting as gas prices go up. People are starting to go to the bus. I know you mentioned you yourself bought an electric vehicle. I did. But there's a challenge of the charging stations. Are we making any headway there?
It is. And that'll be on tonight's show as well, my challenge, which is a condo user, a condo dweller. And for the condo dwellers, there's a challenge, because you have to go to the board. It's an electrical unit, so you will have to get from your electrical unit to your stall. There's all kinds of permitting from the city you have to get from the city, and
it'll make it easy for
the
you
fire
right
department. So, so it's not just taking the car off the lot. So you'll hear more about that.
We have about 6 projects with grantees who are working on the electric vehicle charger and information side of the thing. We just actually heard from the City and County of Honolulu that they now have an online permitting for people who put residential charger units in.
That would be really helpful.
Also, we have a couple of companies that are working with property owners to get chargers all across the state, at least 150 locations across the state that should be able to accommodate about 400 vehicles. So those would be chargers in centrally located areas, so that once you charge your vehicle up, you usually charge it at home, because that's the most convenient place.
And off-peak hours.
But every once in a while, folks want to be able to access a charger elsewhere, and so that will be coming online in the next 12 months.
All right, that is the next step, and you can see it all right here on KGMB, Hawaii Clean Energy. Sharon Murray, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Right, now let's check in with Steve.